Let's try this, all right? Question, proposal, intro, preface, here we go. Exactly what is the revolution? Since that's what would be some fair verbal description of the kind of day-by-day existence of a revolutionist, as I've been calling them for this year. Many of you thought you were calling it something else. Well, most of you never had anything to call it. You called it whatever book impressed you or whatever you heard about. But in between it sounding too strange, and in between the times it sounds like it's not even strange enough, what might it be up to?
Parachutes will come out, they'll land safely.
Here it goes.
This is clearly the beginning of it. Let's watch this together.
Here it goes.
New Shepard has cleared the tower. Flight. 6,000 feet climbing. Begin throttle down for Q limiting. Engine response looks good. Vehicle is supersonic. Engine back up to full throttle.
Supersonic, we have passed through max Q.
Supersonic. Supersonic.
It's gonna be all right, I promise you. Tonight will be a night you will never forget. Girl, how do I look?
I told you, Wanda, you look fine.
Oh, you don't think this dress is too tight, do you?
No, girl, you look perfect.
Okay then, okay then.
Come on, there they are. Put the compact away.
I hope he ain't ugly, cause I can't stand no ugly man.
No. He's cute.
Oh, no, wait a minute. No, she didn't. Look, she gonna try to have my dress on. She just, and ugly.
Wanda, that's not nice. Come
Well,
on,
you
you
just-
know that's not right.
If she ugly, she just ugly. Ain't no ifs, ands, and buts. Who you looking at?
The door is open. Let's see who's emerging first.
Lauren Sanchez.
Lauren Sanchez hugging her fiance Jeff Bezos there after this successful space flight.
Where are my babies?
Go over here. Go see them.
Where? I have to go there.
there.
Okay.
Katy Perry.
There's Katy Perry, yes.
Can we check a Daisy?
Oh, kiss the ground, Katy Perry did. Happy
Very interesting with the Katy Perry wiener launch. Check this out. New sheep. Those are you guys. Those are you guys.
I also noticed this
upon
Jeff Bezos. Jeff Bezos brings a special tool to open this door.
Upon astute observation, you can see that the
accidentally
door
opens beforehand.
accidentally
No,
opens
no,
beforehand.
close the
And
door.
they're
We
like,
gotta
close the door.
We need a special tool to open that.
And then they come in, and then they come in
tool that we
with the
need
special
to,
tool that we
to
need
open the
to,
door for these people.
to open the door for these people.
Then only then is the door opened.
Is the
Here
door
he comes
opened.
with this
Here he
special
comes
tool.
with this
Special tool.
There we go. We need a special tool to open the door now.
Special tool to
There
open
we
the door
go.
now.
Just
There we go. It just opens magically.
And then they go ahead and laugh in your face. By putting the symbol
Baphomet
on Katy Perry on Katy Perry on
Astronauts,
Baphomet, which is the
suits.
symbol for
Baphomet,
the Church
which is the
of
symbol
Satan.
for
Do you
the
guys
Church
see
of
this
Satan.
Do you guys see this here? It's called deception. It's called deception. Lucifer is the god of deception. Lucifer is the god deception. This one's for all the new sheep. For all the one of my favorite pastimes. Seeing when NASA does these things, and then making videos about it, and then making videos hilarious because it's like when I first saw the going through the sky, I was literally on the floor convulsing. It's still so funny. It's still so funny. Kind of reminds me of Austin Powers. Guys believe this shit. You believe it. You believe it.
The whole hoax. And you know who's playing into the hoax? People like you and the fake news media that we have in this country. And I say in many cases, the corrupt media, because you're corrupt. Much of the media in this country is not just fake, it's corrupt. And you have some very fine people, too. Great journalists, great reporters. But
this is Star Talk, Explainer Edition, and I've got with me Daniel Swain. Take us to this season right now in California, or West Coast more broadly. Isn't January the rainy season in Southern California?
Well, typically, yes. January would be pretty close to the middle of the rainy season in California generally, and specifically in Southern California, where the fires are currently burning. So far this season, about the southern third of the state of California, so including all of LA County, the whole LA Basin, San Diego, Santa Barbara, pretty much hasn't rained at all. We're having this conversation in mid-January. That is now the driest start to this season. And by the season in California, we talk about the water year, which usually starts October 1st and runs through the end of the winter rainy season. It's been bone dry. It's a no-show this far in the south, though remarkably, that is not true in Northern California, where some places have seen one of their wettest starts to the rainy season on record. So we have in California this year so far what I call a precipitation dipole.
That's very physics of you. Explain to me the thermodynamics of what happens if it hasn't rained. What's the actual driving mechanism here?
Right. Well, this is where we're getting into the nitty-gritty and the tricky stuff.
Well, here's the real deal, Harris. You know, I'm also on the Transportation Committee, on the Aviation Subcommittee, and I've gotten to know people. And from very high sources, very qualified sources, very responsible sources, I'm going to tell you the real deal. Iran launched a mothership probably about a month ago that contains these drones. That mothership is off, I'm going to tell you the deal. It's off the east coast of the United States of America. They've launched drones, is everything that we can see or hear. And again, these are from high sources. I don't say this lightly. Now, you know, we know there was a probability it could have been our own government. We know it's not our own government because they would have let us know. It could have been some really glorified hobbyist or hobbyists that were doing something.
In focus now, Republican Congressman Jeff Van Drew of New Jersey.
Is that correct? That's right. It's crazy. I mean, that's crazy.
A New Jersey congressman claims Iran is responsible.
Iran launched a mothership probably about a month ago that contains these drones. It's off the east coast of the United States of America.
But he's refusing to reveal sources to back up his claim.
They do work with the Air Force. They do work with national defense. They do work with drones.
The Pentagon denying any so-called mothership. On the West Coast, a Chinese citizen has been arrested, accused of using a drone to snap aerial photos over Vandenberg Space Force Base. Just hours after the launch of a U.S. spy satellite last month, authorities say he hacked the drone to enter no-fly zones. Some are comparing these drone incidents to that Chinese spy balloon the size of 2 school buses, which was shot down off the South Carolina coast last year.
So my responsibility is for...
Like the Bible says, it's basically an intergalactic invasion into this space through people. I'm telling you, it's what all the ancients said. It's what they warned of. It's what we're dealing with. They're demons. They're frickin' interdimensional invaders, okay? I'll just say it. Make fun of me all you want on CNN or wherever, but everyone already innately knows this. These people are not frickin' humans, okay? Hillary Clinton is a goddamn demon. Excuse me, taking the word. It's not taking it in vain. She is a demon damned to hell. Excuse me. I said I'd play the Trump speech. I don't even know if I can go to calls now. I'm too upset. All I know is whether they're interdimensional demons, whatever they are, let's say that's an allegory. All I know is they're the same thing. Psychopaths operate. They're not human. I don't like them, okay? And
all of you in our NASA family about emergency preparedness. NASA recently participated in a FEMA exercise called Eagle Horizon that was a part of a continuity of operations and government exercise that we do annually. And I became aware of some things that concern me about our family preparedness, and I wanted to talk to you very briefly. You know, we in NASA, we're an incredibly unique organization. We're the only agency in the federal government that's responsible for the safety and well-being of people not only here on Earth, but off this planet. So my experience in the astronaut office, my experience as an active duty Marine, always talked about the importance of family preparedness and to make sure that we had a viable family support program. And I have concerns that ours right now is not as good as it ought to be. So what I'm asking all of you in the NASA family, whether you're out on the West Coast, here on the East Coast, along the Gulf Coast, up on the Great Lakes, think about the natural disasters that could occur in your area. Think about attacks that could come like 9/11 from outside forces, and talk to your family about your work and what they need to do to prepare for the unforeseen. Develop a family preparedness plan in your house. Have an emergency supply kit available. Most people who live along the Gulf Coast always have an emergency kit for hurricanes. I'm not sure whether people out on the West Coast think about earthquakes and the like, but have an emergency supply kit at your home. Think about a family communications plan. Where are we going to meet if an emergency occurs and we're all over town? What are we going to do? Are we going to call each other on the cell phone? Just think about those things. If you have pets, think about a pet preparedness plan. How are you going to make sure that they're taken care of when you're spread all over the place? And then when you're spread all over the place.
That after the flood, God gave Noah a promise that there would never again shall be a flood to destroy the earth. So Noah and his children would never have to experience a flood again. In many circles, they believe that if the planet is going to be destroyed, it would be done by fire. In the Bible, Book of Revelation, it talks about Armageddon, and many people believe that it would be a nuclear war. As we go into Wiki and we put in the day, August 7th, 1972, which was a Monday, they have here on that day at 1519 GMT or 1119 EDT, the most powerful solar flare ever measured was observed on Earth. Then as we put that into Google and we start checking all the websites, we'll start to see that the times just keep changing. Here is another one. It says shock waves generated by the intense solar flare of August 7th, 1972 at 1500 UT. UT is universal time. As you can see, Eastern Standard Time is 5 hours behind that, so something's wrong. They can't get the numbers right. It says org. They have August 2nd, 1972. They talk about the Earth being hit with solar flares. Yes, they occurred on August 2nd, on August 4th, but the mother of all solar flares occurred at about 3 o'clock Eastern Standard Time on August 7th. Nowhere up here does it say that. I know because I was awake. I remembered it. That's the one thing I remember. And this is a little video that they have up. It's a solar flare versus AT&T. The major solar flare that erupted on August 4th, 1972, knocked out long-distance phone communication across some states, including Illinois, according to NASA account. That event, in fact, caused AT&T to redesign its power system for transatlantic cables. NASA wrote in that account. So that's another date change. Then there's a video that's up on YouTube, and it's from, where was it? Bear? It'll say it in a second. Start it over again. It's only 6 seconds. And this was videotaped. Or I shouldn't say videotaped. Natural footage. solar flare, Big Bear Solar Observatory. And that was posted up on YouTube. We don't need this anymore. Alright, this is Dolores Cannon. I told her this information when I first met her, back in, I think 89 was when we first met. I have to do a video on her. When I told her, she was like, she didn't believe me. I was like, nah, this really happened. Eventually this is going to start coming out in your books. The first book that it came out in was Convoluted Universe 2. The very last chapter of the book talks about it. So by me telling her and giving her forewarning, eventually when this information did come to her, using her hypnosis technique, she could make sense of it, understand, and know what kind of questions to answer and ask. And
controversy about the daylight fireball of August 10th, 1972. Some people thought it was a UFO. Eyewitness.
This rare footage of a meteorite in flight was taken quite by chance in Alberta in 1972. We'll show it to you twice since it's quite short. The meteorite only broke up a little and seemed to have skipped through the atmosphere and returned to space, which was probably just as well, since it was calculated to be about 150 feet across and would have caused quite some damage if it had come to Earth. Most meteorites, however...
57 kilometers, 35 miles.
At 13, Johnny thinks his parents are square. He figures Eric and Signe know where it's at. Boy, is he in trouble. And that's only the beginning, as nightmare follows nightmare in The Cat Ate the Parakeet.
I know what you think.
What do you think I think?
Nothing.
I'll tell you what I think. I think you're mixed up with something or somebody way over your head and you don't know how to handle it, right?
Don't lie, Johnny. We know all about it. About what?
Whoa.
Johnny, don't give me that! Hey, Wolfman! Johnny, don't give me that! Hey, Wolfman, the police are coming! The bus! Come on, let's get out of here! Get out of here!
Torn between family and friends, frightening dreams hide reality, and the generation gap widens. Johnny could be your son, you know. See The Cat Ate the Parakeet together and say it isn't so.
Ready to a land of ancient primeval forces, where the lords of a time before memory still wield their powers of darkness, came this man.
Who are you?
And this woman.
That music. Didn't you recognize it?
Brought together by the evil supernatural passions locked inside the sinister melodies of his flute, and born of fire. Peter Firth,
Master musician!
possessed by strange demons, Susan Crowley.
The music is created here. Its source is fire.
Lured by even stranger temptations. And both drawn into a living nightmare of a prophecy come true.
He must learn to wield the power that lies within him and turn the flute away from evil.
The final battle between good and evil. Born of fire. The most bizarre film of the decade.
See you guys? Is the world coming to an end? Oh my God, look at the grocery store. Look at this shit, you guys. Bro, this is apocalypse in California. Bro, real life apocalypse in California. Everything is burning to the ground. You guys, it's like a zombie land. Look at this. Look at this, bro. Everything's burning to the ground, you guys. People left their cars. They left everything behind. Newscaster out. Man. If this ain't crazy, then what's crazy, you guys? Is the world coming to an end?
The winds have died down. The wind is just taking these embers from the tree. They're all over the block, and they are moving to other houses. And you see new fires being created from these embers. This house is gone. I mean, just look, all these houses are gone here. There's a fire crew here. I was talking to the captain earlier. They ran out of water here on this street about 30 minutes ago. They went, they hooked up the hydrants, they turned them on, the water ran out. So now they're just moving on to another area. What they did when they don't have water is they try to create defensive perimeters around houses that they think they can save. And those houses are houses that don't have a lot of bushes, hedges, plantings in front of them or around them. Or if it does, they try to rip. They've spent like the last hour just trying to clear debris from houses to try to maybe save it. But it's a matter of luck or misfortune where these embers land, where these the flames hop. This area over here, I want to show you. I mean, this house is completely gone. We've watched this entire house burn down. The house next door, the car that you see over here, we watched that. The flames jumped from the house onto the car. There was a small explosion as the gas canister blew. But look, Brianna. See, there's two houses on fire. The third house down now. The roof has caught fire. The fire captain was telling me.
Right down through the middle of that house, a complete loss. A very large mansion here, 6900 block of Overlook Terrace in Anaheim Hills, fully involved with flame right now.
Why was this fire so destructive and so deadly?
The embers that were cast by this fire were pushed well out ahead of this fire, and every ember landed and started a new fire.
So imagine, just a wind-whipped fire, burning at explosive rates. This is 50-mile-an-hour winds pushing the flaming front.
Again, has no surrounding large flames. In fact, we'll pull out real quick just to show you as wide as we can, even come out of the Doubler Fermi-Tat and give a real wide look of how isolated this home is, and look at just the barren landscape as we tilt up to the fire here in our Overlook Terrace burning. All it takes is just a little ember from that black patch off to the left just to get up into these eaves of these homes, into the attic space, and sit there and smolder for a couple hours, and this is what you get.
Many are returning to nothing as flames decimated the entire town.
It is what people have done, not even what they say, what they have done, that has produced and invited a curse to Kenya. You cannot do a clean business in Kenya. Why? Because it's like Nigeria. Everything, they need a bribe. Number one, you disrespected somebody that is godly. Who came among you? Who is from among you? I won't say the name. A man that is godly. Let me tell you something. If you are a politician in Kenya or Nigeria, Rene remind me to say this when I'll be doing the businessman, a pastor, a bishop, whatever you are, a professor from Kenya or Nigeria. I'm gonna give you a warning. Do not go to witch doctors to look for power. Call me. Because I know more about your nation than any witch doctor. If you want power, call me, I'll give it to you. You doubt me? Come and try me. And if you have witch doctors, who have been doing juju for you guys to stay in power, it will be broken, it will be destroyed. Let me also announce to those of you who are politicians, whether you are an Islamic politician, or whether you are a Christian or a traditional worshiper politician, and you've been going to your own people for them to make concoction for you to stay in power. Death is coming to witch doctors in each of these territories. Because the first thing God is going to do to save Nigeria and to save Kenya is he's going to wipe away and kill. He's going to permit many witch doctors to be wiped out and their families from the face of these two nations. Also from Uganda and Tanzania, they will be wiped out.
This entire cul-de-sac has every home on fire right now. Last night, winds whipped up, sending the fire from the outskirts of town into the middle of this more populated area. That's when officials decided it was time for thousands more people to evacuate, and is far from contained. The winds have died down this morning, but they could start to become a real problem again later today, as the temperature is expected to rise up to 110 degrees this afternoon.
This is on Monday, 7/30, 2018. You can see this pole scorched. See the line down on the ground running through here. And then these are our main transmission lines coming into the city from the Keswick Dam. And then got our guys out here assessing the damage. And then runs back up the hill. And you see all those lines poles are burnt, the lines are down. Let me take a look.
Look at the stop sign here on the side of the highway. It was burned right off at the midway point.
This is a fire that really just kind of decided to pick and choose houses at random, and it's very sad. This is one of the most intense feelings of heat that I've ever felt. It's easily burning over 1,000 degrees right here. This is perfect fuel for this fire. This is a fire that really just kind of decided to pick and choose houses at random.
While houses on the ground explode into fireballs. The brutal force of those swirling winds toppling transmission towers, tossing cars, even twisting this steel pipe around a tree like a pretzel. While houses on the ground explode into fireballs. Toppling transmission towers, tossing cars, even twisting this steel pipe around a tree like a pretzel.
guy.
Get to Vatos Big and Tall store. Matt compliments her on an absolutely hideous belt and asks what the B stands for. She says baby doll, because that's her nickname, and duh, everyone wears a decorative belt with the first letter of their stupid nickname. Karen says Simon looked at shit jackpot. Knives and chains and nunchucks and weed and pills and brass knuckles and... God damn, Karen, what the fuck kind of work you putting in on these streets? Karen's with a, you don't know me, and my friends are there for me. Annie claps back. She says if she keeps it up, those friends might get Stan hurt or killed. And they might get her killed. And they might get her raped too. And they might even rape Stan. Then rape her parents. Who knows? Raping her family could be like Pringles for this gang. Impossible to stop once they get started on the project. Matt listens in because there's nothing that fucking luck. If they let her out, big if, they're going to beat her ass. And she might not survive the ass beating. Karen says they'll understand, but she needs to return their pills and chains. Her parents say no way, which feels like a bad call. The parents want to call the cops and go for the high Colorado or San Francisco, basically put her ass on a big hill. But the chances of her getting into these hills are about as slim as viewers believing she's gang affiliated. The parents say they are overwhelmed and need a little time to chill and sort things out. Maybe go hit one of those bed joints Stan's been farting on in his sleep. The fam plus Stan are shooting night hoops, 100% of them in pants not intended for sports. Annie gets a call and goes outside dramatically and doesn't say anything. Wait, did Karen die? Okay, so Karen did not die. Could have said something there, Annie. But apparently, this gang stuff is serious business. And she's ready to take Eric up on that place in Colorado after all. So what did we learn today? White people in the suburbs love snitching. It's